Have you heard the story of the frozen lake in Blackwood Forest back in 1987? The locals called it cursed. The Blackwood Forest was blanketed in thick, eerie fog, swallowing all sound. In the middle lay the frozen lake, glimmering beneath the gloomy sky, with the trees looming over it as if hiding a secret. It was a place shrouded in mystery, one that should have remained untouched. The locals warned us, their faces filled with dread, their eyes shadowed by something unspoken. They told us to stay away from the lake at night, but we thought it was just superstition, something that belonged in an old folk tale, nothing more. We arrived at the cabin, alone in the sea of towering pine trees. Everything was muted, washed out, untouched. The only sign of life was the faint, warm glow from the cabin's windows, surrounded by the overwhelming silence of the snow-covered woods. The frozen lake shimmered beneath the sickly sunlight. It looked serene, calm, but something felt wrong. The trees formed a barrier around it, like a warning. Footsteps crunched in the snow towards the lake, as if drawn by something beyond their control. On the third night, the whispers began. They drifted on the wind, coming from the direction of the lake. Soft at first, but unmistakably there. Faint echoes of voices that shouldn't exist. The mist above the lake moved, as if stirred by something beneath. Emma was fascinated by the lake. One night, while David and I sat inside, lulled by the warmth of the crackling fire, Emma slipped out quietly, her skates in hand. The warmth of the cabin quickly disappeared as she stepped into the cold, her breath visible in the night air. Then it happened. Emma's scream pierced through the silence. We rushed outside, and there she was, far out on the frozen lake, standing still, staring down. The forest loomed in the distance, the wind lifting wisps of snow, adding to the unease. Her scream hung in the air, chilling us to the bone. We saw her there, motionless. A faint glow began to emanate from beneath the ice, casting eerie reflections on her face. Shadows moved, blurred and restless, just beneath the surface, as if something alive was watching her. We ran towards her, our feet pounding on the groaning ice. Mist rose around us, swirling as we rushed forward, each step seeming to carry us closer to the edge of something terrible. David reached out for Emma, while my eyes locked on the shifting shadows beneath. I looked down and saw them, dark, restless forms swirling beneath the ice, faces, eyes hollow, and fingers reaching up, desperate. The cracks spread, the thin ice straining against the pressure. Something ancient was trying to break free, something that had been held captive for far too long. Pale, ghostly hands pressed against the ice, their fingers splayed wide, desperate to break through. Frost formed around the cracks, the surface straining under the weight of what lay beneath. Shadows shifted, more figures waiting, a relentless, hopeless energy driving them. I stood frozen, staring at the faces beneath the ice. Dozens of them, their hollow eyes locked on mine, their mouths open in silent screams. The wind blew across the lake, and their sorrow and rage seemed to echo within me, paralyzing me with fear. David pulled Emma towards the shore, his face twisted in fear. The ice cracked and splintered around us, the mist rising, the shadows shifting, hands reaching up. The forest loomed ahead, dark but promising safety. We moved, breathless, desperate. We barely made it to the shore. The ice cracked and shifted behind us, whispers fading into the wind, but the weight of what lay beneath still lingered. We held Emma tightly, panting, our faces etched with fear and relief. We left the next morning. The cabin disappeared in the rearview mirror, the frozen lake a distant reminder of the nightmare we had escaped. The forest seemed to close in, the sky dark and oppressive. The atmosphere was heavy, as if something remained unresolved. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear the whispers, soft, persistent, calling, like a distant memory that refuses to fade. In the darkness of my room, I lie awake, shadows dancing across the walls, waiting for something that I hope never comes back.